In this unit, we will discuss Business Process Manager at a high level. We will cover how this best-of-breed BPM tool fits the needs for project development teams by way of the product features and functionality. After completing this unit, you should be able to describe the challenges facing IT Business Process Management development teams, list the strengths of Business Process Manager, list and describe the Business Process Manager configurations and product features, explain how to use Business Process Manager to satisfy organizational needs. Project development challenges are commonplace for IT development groups. However, when you couple the typical challenges with the emerging technologies, the changing landscape of business markets, and new business solutions like business process management, it becomes very important for IT groups to know not only how to develop projects, but to know how to develop the right project using the right technology and tools. This section will deal with the challenges facing each development team and how to meet those challenges using the right foundations and understanding. Businesses face tough challenges in today's technology-based marketplace. Speed, agility, market competitiveness are just some of those challenges. As markets evolve, so do the business responses and processes. As the organization strives to meet today's challenges, there is an ever-increased reliance on IT groups to provide the expertise and answers to internal and external needs. Because of that responsibility to help an organization meet the market changes, IT groups must stay in tune with the best technologies and tools available while maintaining a wise choice approach to spending. IT groups cannot afford to misstep when it comes to the best choices in technology and tools. A decision or requirement to cut cost or leverage technology or methodologies may, in the long run, create more costs than expected. Adding resources may also be limited, so the choices for the best fit to help an IT group develop projects require a comprehensive view of what really is the best course of action. All the while, the IT group must also realize that change for any business is rapid and ever-increasing. This is quite a balance to strike for any group. How to help meet business challenges and ever-evolving technology needs while making the wisest choice in spending due to budget constraints. When you factor in Business Process Management, otherwise known as BPM, then it becomes that much more important to align the organizational needs, BPM, and the best choice in technology and tools. So what is Business Process Management? When an organization decides to place management of business processes as a priority in order to provide an agile and quick way to change what the market needs, business process management is often the solution embraced. Simply put, BPM is about the management of business change that results in process improvement. Of course, business processes have been managed in the past before BPM. Organizations have used a variety of tools and techniques. However, these techniques were partially successful or failed outright because there was a lack of appropriate standards. Also, often there was a lack of complete life cycle to control and guide the design, execution, and change for improvement of business processes. All the things where BPM excels. So when you search for the right BPM tool or tool set, it must be in alignment with the things that are success factors for BPM. The best methodology, the best strategy, and the best approach to realize change management of business processes. There are many aspects of business process management that make it the best solution for business process change management. We will confine our discussion to the technological approach to BPM. When you consider what constitute BPM technology, look towards these components. Visibility. A charter of technology in BPM is to provide visibility into business process performance in terms of tasks and activities performed by either systems or people. With visibility comes the ability to monitor and change a business process for improvement, even in a real-time need. Management teams given the ability to monitor process task performance provides a huge difference in the ability to meet market needs, especially in terms of competitive markets. For example, what if a sales organization were to monitor a sales engagement process? By realizing what tasks are performed in the process and what are some of the pain points based on the appropriate performance data, The same sales organization can make informed decisions to improve the process and compete better for important markets. All of it starts with process visibility. Automation. Oftentimes, automation is considered the crux of what BPM technology is all about. While it is a vital component, it is not a standalone proposition. Automation is often a byproduct of the proper amount of visibility and monitoring of business processes in order to improve it. Automation is very much a desired aspect of BPM, however, it should not be mistaken as the starting point or even the only aspect of BPM technology. Methodology. Lastly, the lifecycle methodology used for business process management is a critical component of technology. While it makes sense in many ways to adopt existing core competencies and proven lifecycle methodologies to BPM to maximize the best outcomes using a methodology that works best to provide agility and process improvement is much more desired. Because the best BPM methodology provides agility and improvement benefits, it stands to reason that the tool or toolset should also work in concert with the methodology. As an organization realizes the benefit of business process management, a march towards adopting BPM as a core competency begins. This BPM journey is true, beginning with the validation that moves towards adoption and eventually a transformation for the business. It is a move from project or a set of projects to an actual program complete with all the support necessary, such as training and enablement. So an IT development group must also consider how to navigate this journey using the BPM technology and tools. It would stand to reason that the maturity level of a BPM program requires the most effective use of the technology and tool. The best of all worlds is technology and tools that mature along with the BPM program, matching both initial needs and then the more complex or larger scope projects for an organization. So now the question becomes, how do we meet these project development challenges? It begins with understanding the BPM lifecycle methodology and strategies for project development, and then choosing the right tool to help with these strategies. This section will deal with business process management development strategies. You can have the best technology in the world, but if you don't have the process know-how, you will continue to have BPM challenges. It would not make sense to spend time analyzing your process needs, including designing the process changes desired to reach performance goals, known as KPIs, and then have a disjointed technological approach to reach those goals. In the same manner, you should not have a set of unattainable goals that put unnecessary burdens on the use of automation and other BPM technology. For example, reporting and analytics within BPM are geared towards process performance matrix. Asking BPM technology to go beyond those analytics is going outside the best use of BPM technology. In such examples, business needs to understand the technology and how it is used. So this proper mix of technology and leveraging of business expertise fits well into the BPM lifecycle methodology. At any point in the methodology, you will find the proper alignment between both. This is the first order in project development. There can be no discounting of either technology and know-how in order to meet project development challenges. The use of technology and know-how happen in the standard BPM phases, also known as the BPM life cycle. All BPM programs use this life cycle, or a variance of the life cycle, to gauge when and what should be the focus and status of a BPM implementation. Some may choose to be more precise with the phases in the life cycle, such as modeling can be divided into two phases or described as modeling and simulation. Execution can also be divided into two phases or described as execution and monitoring. You may also see words such as implement, measure, and improve used to describe the focus of some of the phrases. The life cycle provides the focus and goals during each phase for IT development teams with business people involved to work towards. During the design phase, a pronounced lean towards business know-how may be necessary, while during the execution phase it would be just the opposite lean towards technology and automation. Based on the BPM life cycle, project development is then handled through phases that fit with the life cycle. This is to ensure that the goals for each of the life cycle phases are met. For BPM, you must have a design to evaluate the business process and the pain points. There must be a process model to communicate the process clearly to everyone in the organization to establish what the process should be when project development is completed. Simulation during the modeling phase will give you the ability to validate the process improvements that are going to be realized. Execution or implementation of the process model into a process application must be an extension of the work completed in the previous phases. And lastly, any project development strategies must include the optimization of the process application, and that will require testing and validation that we have the process we expected well in advance in the design phase. The best project development strategy is then one that is a three-phased approach to accomplish the definition of the project, the development of the project, and the final test of the project prior to deployment for the extended monitoring of the project that leads to optimization or improvement. Remember that much like the BPM lifecycle, the project development should leverage business collaboration in order to meet all project expectations. Given the project development strategic approach of collaboration with business, the use of playbacks is key. Playbacks within the development phase allows for the incremental development of the project. The use of playbacks set goals for planned work and stages within the development phase. When the development team feels they have met the goals for the playback stage, then a playback session is held to review the accomplishments with the business group, stakeholders, and the development team. Because of the incremental nature of the development, the goals of each playback stage is to reach certain application functionality to the satisfaction of all that the product matches the requirements. This provides early visibility and input for the business group on the project development. Oftentimes, the perspective of the business group early on will benefit development because they will quickly identify errors or missed requirements well before the final product is deployed. This is something that should be planned. Change is inevitable, so the iterative development strategy will benefit project development teams to prepare for alterations early on. This is key. Incremental improvements or refactoring is a staple of using iterative development, and playbacks will help identify and set the parameters for doing this well. With the proper BPM lifecycle methodology and project development strategy in place, what is left is to choose the right tool. Having come this far to understand and use the right technology and approach, it would stand to reason that the tool must work in concert with the development strategies. That means that our BPM tool should supply the right functionality to have playback sessions early in development rather than wait until project end to realize if requirements are met. One way to accomplish this is using a tool that provides a shared model approach to design and development. A shared model is the artifact that has a shelf life beyond the modeling phase of development. The same model that a BPM analyst and process owner create at definition of the project is also the same model that developers use to create the project application and share with business in playback sessions. The same model is also deployed and used in production, so throughout the life cycle of the project there is consistency. If changes are made, there is involvement with the business early on, so there is no surprises on the final product. This allows for collaboration throughout the development because the business understands the model early on and can provide important feedback based on understanding. It also avoids custom development that can happen in standard methodologies, such as code-driven project development. In data-driven development, such as shared model approach, the data is important, and that data is both business and process flow related. Now that we understand the challenges facing IT development groups today and the proper methodologies and strategies for BPM, the best tool available is all that is needed. The best tool, of course, is Business Process Manager. This section will cover Business Process Manager at a high level in terms of product features and functionality that match the needs for BPM project development. IBM Process Manager is the best choice for BPM project development because of the unique features of the product fit perfectly with the project development strategy. The product itself provides scalability, the ability to use specific configurations of the product to fit project development profiles. Powerfully simple. The simplicity of use for business in the Power feature to allow developers to handle even the most complex of projects. Centralized visibility and control. Project development depends on teams, and as such, there must be the control and visibility for all the phases of development. Let's take a closer look at the Business Process Manager key features. We start with simplicity. As noted earlier, collaboration with business end users and process people is key to effective project development. This is because of playbacks during development that allow the business and IT groups to iteratively work through specific project requirements early and often. Because of that, the tool used to develop must be simple to use and understand so that these playback sessions can effectively communicate the implementation to business users. In terms of power, the Business Process Manager tool allows for scalability to handle any project development need. When you think of the BPM journey and the specific needs for each phase of BPM maturity, you see where having a tool that can scale is valuable. This allows a BPM development team to continue to use the same tool for complex project needs that was used for early prototypes and proofs of concept projects. Project governance is important when you consider the collaboration of business with IT development teams. It is not uncommon for changes to happen at any time during the BPM lifecycle. Because of that, governance of the process model artifact will be necessary to maintain the integrity of the project development. The fear of starting over or rebuilding a project goes away when the proper governance is in place and is managed effectively by the tool. Of course, the cornerstone of iterative development is visibility of process application performance. The best BPM tool should provide the ability to run the application through simulation scenarios and performance evaluation. Playbacks will also provide visibility into the process performance, and that in turn will allow for changes to business processes that have performance issues. At project deployment, the visibility for process performance comes by way of analytics built into the process portal. To understand how the features are enabled in Business Process Manager, you have to understand the individual components for the product. Product components are categorized in the following way. Authoring. How would a project developer create the process application using this tool? Administration. How would a project administrator manage process application development and deployment? Production. How would an end user and management use the process application and monitor process performance data? In the authoring category, Business Process Manager has two designer applications. It is important to note that using two designers is the high-end use of the tool. Because of that, you will not find the need for two designer applications in lower and mid-range configurations for the product. We will talk more about the product configuration a little later in this unit. All configurations for the product will have the Process Designer application as well as the Process Center. The Integration Designer is reserved for the more advanced configuration of the product, which will be discussed in more detail in Unit 3 of this course. Process Designer enables you to model and implement your business processes and easily demonstrate process design and functionality during development efforts. To model and implement a business process, a process author would use the designer view of the application. To demonstrate and test process functionality, an author would use the inspector view of the application. Finally, to evaluate process performance using historical or simulation data, an author or analyst would use the optimizer view of the application. Process Center, a center repository for the tool that allows authors to build and run process applications and toolkits, store process performance data for testing and playback purposes, and manage environments and process authors. The Process Center provides a shared development platform and an end-to-end governance of process applications to mitigate typical application development problems. One process application can have multiple authors working in either toolkits for the application, specific snapshots, or service models. Business Process Manager provides administrative consoles to manage the operation of the process application. This will allow for specified administrative tasks such as server management and Process Center process application and toolkit administration. The Process Portal is a part of the IBM Business Process Manager toolset. It is a browser-based interface that allows for start and stopping a process, managing and running tasks for each process, and viewing performance of individuals, teams, and processes. The process portal is provided for runtime environment support, so the application has its main usage in production environments that are designated for end users. It is through the process portal that an end user would access process task assignments and process performance analytics can be viewed. Business Process Manager components are available in 3 distinct configurations for the product. The most basic configuration is called Express. Express is configured for a first business process management project typically reserved in the validation phase of the BPM journey. The main focus for the Express configuration is rapid time to value, improved user productivity, the low entry price, easily installation and configuration. With the Express configuration, a BPM project development team can develop a process application with limitation in the amount of authors who can work on the project and also the amount of end users. The next configuration is shown as standard. As the BPM journey continues from project-based to more of a BPM program, the need to migrate to a standard configuration increases. On the surface, the Express and standard configurations look similar. The difference between each is the unlimited authors and end users for standard, plus other features such as clustering and unlimited cores. Standard is configured for typical business process management projects and has the following focus: for multi-project improvement programs with high business involvement, basic system integration support, and rapid time to value and improved user productivity. Next is the advanced configuration that fits well with the BPM journey transformation phase. The advanced has everything found in the standard configuration and also provides the IBM Process Server, IBM Integration Designer or BPL and SOA, built-in Enterprise Service Bus or ESB, transaction support, integration adapters, and IBM Business Space User Interface. Because of the capabilities found in Advanced, the typical focus is extended support for high-volume process automation and built-in SOA components for extensive enterprise-wide service integration orchestration. This is typically how each configuration of Business Process Manager can be viewed in terms of proper usage and application. When using the BPM journey as the roadmap to successful business process management implementation within an organization, then you can see that the tool fits strategically with the focus for each phase. Within each phase, applying the right methodology and project development strategy will be easily handled with each configuration. Having completed this unit, you should be able to describe the challenges facing IT business process management development teams, list the strengths of Business Process Manager, list and describe the Business Process Manager configurations and product features, explain how to use Business Process Manager to satisfy organizational needs.